the crossroad that I came to happened on actually, it actually started in May of 1995. I mean, after multiple arrests, all of those things that we experienced, seeing the inside of an adult correctional facility as a minor, having the child, as a teenager, the 4 or 5 treatment modalities up until then. But the crossroad that I came to happened May 14th, 1995. And that was after I was wholeheartedly trying to sit up in group and pay attention in treatment, outpatient at the time, managed to get a job, was staying back in my mother's apartment in the projects. She lived there alone. She had room. She was the only person that I hadn't burnt all my bridges with. And I got off work that Friday morning. May 14th was a Sunday. Got off work that Friday morning, went to a neighborhood bar that would cash checks and start serving liquor as early as they can. Had a couple drinks. That party lasted until that Sunday morning, the 14th, where I found myself banging on her door, getting louder and louder, knowing that she didn't want to draw attention to herself because I wasn't supposed to be there. And I had given her some money to put up for me because I was really trying to make an effort to get clean and sober and leave the lifestyle alone. Well, after, charming my way, she managed to crack the door open, and we had already had an agreement that no matter what, she was not going to give me the money. Made that commitment or decision, in the sober state of mind. She cracked the door. I knocked her to the floor, demanded my money. When she refused, I pulled this gun that I was used to getting my way with out in the streets, and I pointed at my mother's head. And somehow demanding that she tell me where my money was, because I just kept wanting to get high. And somehow she managed to convince me that laying it down was the best thing. And I agreed after I had ransacked her apartment looking for a hiding space, and laid it down, got up later on that night to go to work because I worked third shift. And for that whole week, Jason, just avoided my mom. We didn't speak 2 words to each other throughout the week. I was so ashamed of what I had done. How do you pull a gun out on your own mother on Mother's Day? And I avoided her for the week. She continued to be mom. She would leave me little notes. Pooh, I love you. That was my nickname. It's okay if everybody knows it. But I love you. We can get through this, leaving me plates in the microwave, in the oven, just being mom, So that Friday morning, got my paycheck, riddled with guilt, remorse, shame. What do you think I did? I went straight back to that same neighborhood bar, and I was looking for the only thing that was going to ease this pain that I had caused my own mother throughout the week. Had a few drinks, went looking for the ultimate, forget that all that happened, drugs and the lifestyle and the women and everything, and found myself back at her door that Sunday morning, banging, insisting that she open the door, trying to explain to her that I'm sick, that I need help, all this other stuff, the tears, the voice, telling her that the neighbors are watching, trying to threaten her, her housing situation itself. And she once again fell for it, and she opened the door. At this time, I had already convinced myself that I was not going to allow her to be a barrier to me getting high. So when I pushed her down this time, I didn't even see her as my own mother. And I took that same gun that I was used to getting everything that I wanted out in the streets with, and I pointed at her head. And when she denied me this time, something snapped. And to this day, I still don't know what echoes more in my head. the sound of that cold, hard piece of steel as it met with her left side of her head just above her eye, or the sound the gun made as I squeezed the trigger when the two met. So while she's laying there on the floor, screaming at this time, stop, 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 she started praying. The whole time she's still in the same spot that I'd left her at. I'm tearing up, I'm smashing things, I'm ransacking her whole house again, looking for my money. And then I remember she began to pray. And most people that I had put in that situation, they began to pray for themselves. And it was so odd that she wasn't praying for her. She was praying for me. And somehow, when I started coming down, I found myself on the corner of the bed that she had so graciously given me, with that steel warm gun barrel still in my mouth. I realized what I had just done. And the only way to stop that pain was for me to end my life. So I squeezed the trigger. And I'm still here. And at that time, and I don't know where anybody stands spiritually or religiously or anything, but God, in all of his infinite wisdom and grace and mercy, decided to send an angel into that room at the very moment that that hammer was dropping.
This is the Knockin Doorz Down podcast, featuring celebrities, experts, and everyday people who have overcome adversities, including addiction, mental health, and trauma, to live purposeful lives. And that's what Knockin Doorz Down is all about.